Well, hello everyone, Bird Lady Speaks here coming to you guys with a not so quick video. In this video here, I want to talk about ways to avoid have your chickens overheating and even having a heat stroke and possibly losing their lives in this triple digit weather that we've been having. So let's jump right into it. So much for stopping by my channel. If this is not your first time, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope that you do decide to join the family and stay by hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and of course ringing that bell. Now, I always have to let you guys know I'm leaning. Now, I always have to let you guys know that this is a very diverse channel. This is what you call a variety channel. I talk about all types of things on this channel, from my chickens to my turkeys to my geese to my parrots to my dogs to my weight loss journey, my Christian walk, my homesteading journey, my gardening. Shoot, I even shoot sometimes on this channel. But if you are here for the chicken centered video, make sure you do subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you will not miss when I post a video to your liking. But yeah, today is a relatively cool day. I think it's about 94. So compared to what it's been, today is a relatively cool day. But I know I saw in Texas it's like supposed to be 100-degree weather. And I did do a short on this, but I want to go into more details on how to save our chickens, because our chickens, they can actually lose their lives. They can actually have a heat stroke in this weather. I am no, let's first put this out here. I am no way, shape, form, or fashion a chicken expert. This is my first year owning chickens. I think I've owned chickens for about 5 months now, and I just do a lot of research on them. I watch a lot of chicken videos. I read a lot of articles. So I will put links in the description box from the experts below. So let's just talk a little bit about, the chickens, their body, just a little bit about anatomy when it comes to chickens. Now, chickens' natural body temperature is around 140 degrees. So with having a normal natural body temperature of 104 degrees, they naturally do better in cooler climates. They just naturally do better in cooler climates. Now, when a chicken goes into heat stress, now there are all types of things that can happen. They can have organ damage. They can have problems with their egg production, or it can cause their eggs to be malformed and malshapen and deformed, and it can even cause a loss of life. So it's a lot of things that go into causing a chicken to have heat stress or heat stroke. It's a lot more than just the weather. It can be genetics, it can be their age, it can be their weight, their diet, flock maintenance, coop maintenance. It can be all these different kind of things that together can contribute to chickens having heat stroke or heat stress. So you don't want to just focus on, the temperature is this. We can help avoid, even though that we can't control the temperature. We can't, like physically, that's God. We can't control the temperature, but we can do some things to help them to be less stressed with this hot temperature. Now, to go just a little bit more into genetics, like chickens with larger wattles and cones, chickens with naked feet, chickens who are lightly feathered, who are not naturally just genetically smaller chickens, they do better in the heat. And I will do a second video on chicken breeds that do better in the heat. Now, because through their wattles, through their feet, they are able to cool off through their wattles and through their feet. Now, some things you want now 75 degrees is like the sweet spot for chickens. That is like the sweet spot. Now, when it starts to get over 90 degrees, that's when your chickens, they start to get a little stressed when it hits over 90 degrees. And when it hits over 100 degrees, that's when they are in risk for heat stroke. The first two things that you want to avoid is a lot of things that we do as chicken owners, and I did not know this, is you do not want to feed them corn or scratch feed, maybe as a treat occasionally, but when it's really, really hot, you do not want to feed them corn or scratch feed. The reason that you don't want to feed them corn or scratch feed is because it's basically carbs. And it's going to cause them to be heavier. It's going to cause them to gain more weight. It doesn't have any nutritional value. And plus, it breaks down and digests a little slow. It breaks down and it digests slower, which causes their body temperature to increase just trying to digest that. So that's why a lot of people in the wintertime, they feed more scratch feed, corn and grains in the wintertime, because they do need that extra weight. In the summertime, all that's going to do is cause more problems with this heat that we are having. Another thing that you don't want to give them, that we chicken owners give our chickens, is apple cider vinegar. You don't want to give them, put apple cider vinegar in their water. I know it keeps their water cleaner. I know it's healthier for them. But you don't want to give them that because apple cider vinegar can have like kind of sort of like a laxative effect sometimes, and it also can cause them to become dehydrated as well. Oh, and here is my cup from Kai's Custom Design. She makes these wonderful tumblers here. Make sure you're going to check her out. This is not a sponsored video. She doesn't even know that I'm doing this, but I'm just trying to stay hydrated. And if you want to stay hydrated, everything stays cold, I think, for 24 hours, and cold stays cold for 24 hours, and hot stays hot for, I think, 12 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, make sure you check this out. She custom made this cup for me, Bird Lady here. So yeah, but back to the video. Now let's talk about some ways to prevent, you know, your chickens from overheating. They're gonna get hot. That's just same way like we're outside, we get hot, but there are some things we do to cool ourselves down. So there'll be some things that we can do, you know, to cool our chickens down. So first thing is provide refreshing water. Lots and lots of refreshing water. Just to give you an example, some of the things that I provide, this is a 12-gallon water we're here. I also have a little like cattle trough over there. You can't really see it because they're all gathered up around it, but I give them that for them to stand in. They drink out of it as well, so I have to come and empty it out a couple of times a day. But I keep cool water, and I keep their water in the shade. Make sure you keep their water in the shade. It doesn't do any good to give them a bunch of water and the water is warm because the sun has heated it up. So make sure you keep their water in the shade. So I hope you can see one of my chickens is actually standing in it. That Isa Brown there, she's actually standing in it. But yeah, like I said, they pretty much drink out of it, but it's really for them to just stand in because chickens cool off by their feet. Their feet and their cones and wattles are how they cool off. So give them some cool water to stand in. If you have smaller chicks, make sure, you know, it's at a level to where they won't drown in it, but make sure that you are giving them some water to stand in and giving them some water to drink. So they have this water to stand in. They have this water right here to drink, and that water is amazingly cool. They have, this container right here to drink out of. And I have the little coop, the little brooder waterers as well that I have for them. So give them lots and lots and lots and lots of water. Now what I do every night is I take gallon Ziploc bags, I fill them up with water, and I put them in the freezer and I let them freeze overnight. So when it starts to get, you know, hotter in the day, I'll take a one of those ice, and I'll show you those ice bags, and I just drop it in that water that they stand in, and they can stand in even cooler water. So yeah, that definitely works. Now make sure that the water is already pretty cool. You don't want to do this if they've been standing in warm water. You don't want to instantly make that water cold, because what that's going to do is that's going to cause your chicken to go into shock. That instant change in temperature is going to cause your chicken to go in shock. Ginger, no. I don't know why my turkeys insist on going over there and aggravating Ginger. I would be terrified if I was a turkey over 80. If I was a, 25-pound turkey, I would be terrified of an 80-pound German Shepherd. But that's neither here nor there. All right, another thing you want to do, number two, another thing you want to do is you want to avoid overcrowding. Overcrowding, just like anywhere else, when there are too many people there, it's hot. That's heat. You're generating heat. Same thing, too many chickens in one spot, generating heat. That's why the chickens that I have in here, I am about to separate them into 3 different coops. I'm about to separate them by breeds into different coops. So stay tuned if you want to see that. The general rule is about 8 square feet per chicken. So yeah, so avoid overcrowding. I do not suggest this. This is something that you can do, but this is something that I don't do. Is you can actually use fans to create artificial ventilation. The reason that I have not done this is because if we have a power outage, or if something happens and a fan breaks down, I'm not able to get another one right away. I want my chickens to be able to acclimate to the climate here and naturally be able to take the climate here. I want them to have natural ventilation, because like I said, if something happens, I go out of town, fan goes out, they're used to having this fan on them all the time, they're not going to know how to make it. But It's your choice. You can do that. You can actually add ventilation into your chicken run. Like even the ones that I have in my boarding shed, I don't have a fan in there. I just leave the door open, leave the windows up, and I just let the air blow through there. That's part of the reason why I don't have a coop this summer. I may actually have one by the winter, but that's why I do not have a coop right now, because it is, I know where I live here in Georgia, it is extremely hot, and a run would be better because the breeze under this shade, this breeze feels good under the shade. So that's just me, and that's one of the importance of heritage breed and getting hot weather loving chickens, is simply because hot weather, that's part of the reason for heritage breeds, because they're used to being in these harsh climates. That's another reason for, getting breeds that are specifically for warm weather climates, is because they can naturally survive. And like I said, they get so used to these artificial things that if something happens and you can't provide them with those things, then they're not as hardy and they may not make it. So that's why I'm glad my chicks kind of was raised up. I purposely raised them up. I babied them for a while, but then I'm like, you gotta learn how to make a baby, and I haven't lost any. Another third or fourth one, I don't even know which number I'm on. Another would be is to give them frozen treats. Now, chickens, turkeys, they love watermelon. They absolutely love watermelon. So number one, watermelon is actually, I forgot what the percentage, 80 something, 90 something, 98% water, I believe what watermelon is. I'll put it around here somewhere, but I think it's like 98% watermelon. So they actually love watermelon. So you can take watermelon, not only is it nutritious for them, not only is it packed full of water, but if you freeze it, that's going to help them cool down as well. So you can freeze things like cucumbers, grapes, blueberries, you can freeze squash, you can freeze anything. I even take like the grub terra. Yeah, I take the grub terra and I freeze them, and I put them in little cubes, and then I put them in the little water, and so they're actually pecking, trying to get those, but they're intaking that cool water as well. So that's going to motivate them to drink more water. But give them frozen treats, and that's definitely going to have them cool them off at the same time, giving them some kind of enrichment, entertainment, and that's also going to actually cause them to drink more water. Another one will be is make sure you provide shade. Don't have them in the direct sun. Like I had part of this run here open, but it seems like it was a little bit hotter. So what I did was, and then the rain was coming in, so I covered it with these blue tarps, and it just seemed like it just cooled it down. I had tarps on the side as well, but I took the tarps off the side because I wanted the wind to be able to blow through. So make sure you offer them shade. You can build your coop or your run under a huge tree. That natural shade from trees, that breeze from trees, that's a lot better than the tarps. But if you can give them that natural shade, that is absolutely amazing. But if you can't, make sure you old school tarps. Every farmer that I've gone to and learned about chickens, they didn't have these fancy coops. They didn't have these fancy buildings. They didn't have fans. All they had was a run and tarps. And these are people who've been keeping chickens like 50 plus years. So if it's working for them, it's definitely going to work for us. Another thing you can do is hose down your coop. Now, chickens, they don't really like being in water. They don't really like getting wet. But if you hose down your coop, when they get ready to dig and make their dirt bath, and you're going to see a lot of holes. And if they're free range, you're going to see a lot of holes in your yard. You're going to see a lot of holes in your run, because the deeper they get down, it's cooler. But if you spray your coop down in the morning when they're digging to get down, oh, that's going to be amazing for them. That's going to feel so cool for them. That's going to make them feel good. So don't just make it where your coop is a sopping mess, but just mist it down a little bit, spray it down just a little bit, so the ground can be just a little bit wet, so when they're digging in it, they can feel the coolness of that wet soil. And last tip that I would have is electrolytes. So the one that I use, and this is not a sponsored video, but they probably should sponsor me, but the one that I use is the Rooster Booster, and I use the one with vitamins, electrolytes with lactobacillus. So yeah, I use this for, and it's good for your chicks. It's good for adult and younger chicks. So definitely give them some electrolytes. You can get something like this. My chickens, I noticed that they don't drink the water as well when I use the hydro hen, but they actually do like this. I know they don't have much of a taste, but I have seen a difference is they don't drink the water as much when I put the hydro hen in there. So I just give the hydro hen to my turkeys and give this to my chickens and my chicks. Now, if you're in a pinch and you don't have rooster booster, I just give them rooster booster as a preventative. I always make sure that I keep some on hand. I give it to them about every day. Yeah, I think I give it to them about every day unless I just forget about it, but I try to give them rooster booster every day. Now, when it comes to if you don't have any on hand, and if you live out in the middle of the woods like I do and you can't get any right then, and you have a hen or a chicken that's in distress, go to the next town over and just get some regular Pedialyte. Pedialyte will be just fine. Give them Pedialyte. Don't give them no Gatorade now. There's a lot of sugar in it. But give them just some, give them just for Pedialyte. Pedialyte will be just fine if you're in a pinch. And you can also make your own electrolyte drink. I think it's like honey and baking soda mixed in with some water. I don't know. I put it down below for you guys, but you can actually make your own. Well, now, if you do have a chicken that's in distress, we hope this does not happen, but if you do have a chicken that is in distress, what you want to do to save that chicken is you want to get on it right then and there. Pick that chicken up, take that chicken on the inside so that it can start. And here are some symptoms with that your chicken is in distress. What we want to do is we want to know what to look for when your chicken is being stressed, when the heat stress is coming upon your chickens. First thing you want to look for is their wings. First thing, their wings will kind of be far from their bodies, and they'll be panting. Like some of mine may be doing that now. Yeah, they may be panting. But that's one thing that you want to actually look for. That lets you know that they are trying to cool themselves off. They are getting a little bit too hot. They're opening up the wings to let that heat escape from up under their wings, and then they're panting to try to get that, because they don't sweat like we do. So they have to try to find a way to get that heat out of them. Now, as you can see, let's see if we can get one to let me pick them up. Are you gonna let me pick you up? So as you can see, King Ezekiel here has a beautiful, beautiful red comb. Beautiful, beautiful red comb. Thank you, King Ezekiel, for being my example. Thank you, sweetheart. And if you see that red comb becomes pale, if those combs and wattles start to become pale, your chicken is in trouble. Your chicken is being stressed by the heat when that red cone that you naturally see becomes, a little pale. So a lot of times, and this may not be that they're stressed, but just keep an eye on it if you see it. Like my chickens, they roam and they kind of walk around, they peck around, they do different things, they take their dust bath. But sometimes my chickens can be lazy. After they eat in the morning, they kind of all just get somewhere and they just kind of just chill out. But if you see them actually just being very lethargic and they're just kind of just like laying, not really moving at all, you may want to actually keep an eye on them and make sure that they're not stressed. You may want to give them a way to, cool off. Another thing is if your chickens completely stop eating. Slowing down eating, I think that's pretty much normal. Like my dogs slow down eating in the heat. What do you see? That may be one thing that is actually, that may be one thing as well. When you see that they have completely stopped eating, give that chicken some attention. Find a way to cool that chicken down. Even if you have to bring it in the house, let it cool down for a moment, do that. But if you see your chicken is lounging around lethargic and it's not eating, make sure that you do get that chicken seen about. When they're lethargic like that, that's usually a precursor to a heat stroke. So definitely get on that. Now, another thing that you want to look at is you may begin to see or notice that there are more droppings, and the droppings may be a lot watery. It doesn't cause for instant concern if it's not too bad, simply because when it's hotter outside, just like us, we drink more water. Chickens drink more water. They actually sometimes drink 3 times what they eat, so their poop may be a little watery, but at the same time it can lead to diarrhea and dehydration. So yeah, you want to definitely try to keep an eye on it. Now I have listed I have let you know this. Now that I've let you know the symptoms of a chicken in distress, what you need to do, if you see this, pick that chicken up, put it in a tote, do whatever you have to do, get that chicken inside. to some AC. Get that chicken cooled off. Now you want to gradually bathe it in cool water, not ice cold, because you don't want to put it in shock. Let it bathe and soak in some cool water to help bring that internal body temperature down. Electrolytes, electrolytes, electrolytes. Like I said, if you're in a crunch, you need it right then, get some Pedialyte, or if you have some, whatever the solution calls for, honey and baking soda, if you have sea salt, you have that, go ahead and give it some electrolytes ASAP. And watch it, keep it on the inside for maybe a good 24 hours or at least overnight. Like I told y'all, I'm not an expert. What I learned, I try to share with you guys, and I try to condense it down to a really quick video where you won't have to do all the research that I was doing. I try to make it a little bit easier for you. But if you like this video, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. Share this video. So many of you guys say, I need more followers, I need more subscribers. That depends on you. If you like it, if you share it, if you just comment, if you just put a heart, if you put a thumbs down, whatever you do, that lets YouTube know that you like my content, and it pushes it out to more people. So if you want me to have more followers, share it, engage more. So you have something that you do for your chickens to help keep them cool, and I didn't list it here, something we may not know about, please, please, please help us out. Let's talk about it down in the comment section below. But thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as usual, toodaloo, bye-bye.